Hi, Fran here. I'm so glad that you've joined this little video and to see what could be happening for you. I'm so grateful to my clients who are willing to share their story. And this one is a very special one. So enjoy the video and see you on the other side.
Good afternoon, Grant. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, as you know, my name is Fran Nguyen and I'm a trauma counsellor. And we met last year, wasn't it? Or was it the year before?
I think it was last year. Yeah, the beginning of last year.
No, end of the year before, because it was November, wasn't it, that you were going to jump?
Yes, November.
So we met not long after that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to tell our listeners what happened and what happened to bring about transformation for you?
I was just in a bad place. To be fair, it was a culmination of life events, a history of service within the military and within the frontline policing on specialist armed response units. And sadly, we don't get any. Or back then, I don't know if it's changed now, we didn't get any sort of support or counselling or guidance for the things that we experienced. And I had a lot of demons in my head that I couldn't get straight, and had a lot of feelings from, I think, when we worked through it all the way back from childhood and things like that surfaced, and that hadn't been dealt with correctly or properly. And then there were life events within my life that was just the pressures that were on top of me as well. Betrayal of friends and family, things like that just culminated into a distinct belief in myself of life would be better if I actually wasn't around.
And when you were actually about to do that, I believe you were on a bridge, weren't you? What happened to change your mind?
So it was, I went to check, funny enough, I went to check the time on my phone and I saw a picture of my son. And it was there that I decided that it wasn't about me, it was about him. And I needed to find a way back to be around for him.
And then after that, we were introduced to each other by our mutual friend.
I'm so glad that you've joined this little video.
And that was very good. And it was
could be happening for you. I'm so grateful
I'm going to say it because people need to know. I mean, I was dead against it. I was dead against the TLTP. It wasn't going to work for me. Nothing was going to work for me. You get this hard exterior of, well, you just got to deal with life, and it wasn't going to better me. There's nothing that was going to help me, and wow, was I wrong?
So in what way were you wrong? What did you find?
Well, I mean, it didn't take, I think after the first session, it felt like a huge weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. There was the coping techniques that you give, the visualizations, everything that you do is a consistent progress on yourself that just helps and instills that self-belief and that self-worth back in you to actually get your mind right and get you back in a position to fight the day and take on the day rather than just sort of succumbing to it.
So having been empowered,
yep.
That's what we do, is we walk with you. And the TRTP that you mentioned is the Richard's trauma process, which is a modality that I've learnt from in Australia, which is working. Would you explain how it worked for you?
It was a lot of visualization and actually talking through with you to go into what I would call your mind's eye and to go back into different scenarios that are traumatic in your life that have been through. I mean, as you know, I had a traumatic childhood, growing up in a domestic abusive house, etc. And you put me in those positions in the elevator in my mind and went there, and we actually got off. We saw what was happening, and you then consoled yourself in that situation to actually understand it and realize that what you were feeling at the time was normal. There's not a lot you could have done there, but also that person becomes part of the person you are today, and you are not that little child anymore. And you need to stop harboring those feelings and actually harness them and find out that you've grown so much through having that experience, and then you are the developing article at the end of it.
So you're no longer the victim, but you become the victor.
That's it.
Perfect. Excellent. And were you still feeling victorious the other day?
No, there's times that I'm not going to say it's a miracle cure all. That is, every day is fantastic. We still have hard days. I mean, I think it was a couple of months that I felt very victorious and very self-confident, self-secure. And then I believe it was on a Friday night that I felt really, really, really down. Things were getting to me, and I reached out to you and I said, and you said, I'm available tomorrow. And we had a session, and it just topped up that self-belief. And it was, a lot of it was through my own fault, because I had neglected the mantras, I'd neglected my exercises. But then going back to it just brought me back around, and it then continued to help. So it is, as much as you help, there is an onus on the individual to put their part in and to actually commit to their self-development and to doing the exercises. I mean, it doesn't take long, but you need to be consistent in the exercises.
And that's what I say. I'm saying I'm just a catalyst. You actually do the work. I'm just here to support you.
Yeah.
That support then enables you to become an overcomer.
That's it, yes.
Perfect. Excellent. And now, having been in that very dark place, where are you going now?
Oh, so I mean, I run a charity now. I've started I've taken the leap of faith to start my own business after being with you. So I've got my own mobile tire fitting business that I now run. I've got I still work within the security field. I always wanted to do my close protection course, and never really had the self-belief to do it. And obviously through doing my exercise and everything with you, I went off and I did my close protection course, where I passed with distinctions. And I've now got that sort of string added to my bow, and life is moving forward in a more creative, productive, and manageable way.
Fabulous. And what about your podcasts? How are they going?
So the podcast is coming forward. I will be doing the podcast. I've got a friend who's actually run a podcast for the last 13 years. So he knows how to set it up and everything, because I lack the sort of technical expertise in doing it. I was looking at different sort of platforms to do it on. And he's managed to set that all up. And we hopefully, when our charity gets our building, then I will be running the podcast from within there.
Perfect. But in the meantime, you've been talking on Facebook, haven't you? How many followers have you now got?
So our page has 38,000 followers. I've got 3,600 followers on my own page. And it's just, I used to do a walk and talk on the way into work, and just let people know that, you know, everybody, and if we're honest, everybody at some point in their life is going to struggle with mental health at some point, whether it be low self-esteem, lack of confidence, image, things like that. And it's just letting people know the thought patterns and what I needed to do to better myself, and to sort of shut out the white noise, because no one else's opinion matters to you other than you. Your opinion matters, and everyone else is just, because a lot of people, they have opinions of you based on their image and their reflections. And sometimes they pull you down to make themselves feel better. And, without understanding the psychology behind that, you tend to think, oh, I'm a really bad person and I'm this, and they said that about me, and that's not me. It's actually not you. It's probably more them
Absolutely.
transferring and imposing their beliefs on you through jealousy or any number of reasons. So it was a case of just letting people know to shut out the white noise and focus on, think about what you're thinking about, and think about how you see yourself as important, not how others see you.
Perfect. And it brings me back to the point that your life matters. Because before, when you thought, my life's nothing, I don't amount to anything, now you realize not only does your life matter, but how many more lives are you positively impacting through not only your charity, but your walk and talks. And then in the future, your podcast is going to really open up the doors for realizing that mental health is something that we're all having to face.
Yeah.
But we're all dealing with, and it's the way you deal with it that makes a difference.
That's correct, yeah.
And that's what you're advocating through your charity as well.
Absolutely, yeah. We do a on the third Sunday of every month, we do a Break the Stigma walk, which is we get everyone down at Fairlands Valley Park in Stevenage, and we meet there at 10:30, and we go for a walk at 11. And it's growing. I think we've grown from having a handful of us doing it to nearly 100 people. And we've linked up with local grief counsellors that encourage people to come down, and just it's a safe environment that people can be amongst other people that have problems, but we're all in it together. And you realise you're not alone, you're not isolated, you are quite human in what you experience, and it allows people an opportunity to talk if they want to talk, or just be around people if they want to be around people.
Which again is a fantastic ending for us. So be available to listen and to talk. If there are any issues, if you've got a struggle with anything, please reach out and talk with somebody. And so thank you, Grant, so much for your time. I really, really appreciate the fact that you've been agreeable to do this little video with me. And now we just wish all the best for Celtic Angels, the next venture that you have, and the podcast to come. Fantastic. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Fran.